an important piece of intimate work is a respect for privacy, i.e. doctors, lawyers, things that you share at your most vulnerable should be, hopefully, relationships. The things you share in your most vulnerable shouldn't get out if you don't want them out. So for me, like, until a set of images is completely done, unless it's going to an editor, those images don't get shared.
Mental Health Monday.
My ideation and my like what I'm able to like bring to life on the back end, a lot of that is just me being me in those rooms and knowing that like it's going to be respected and appreciated and heard.
When
That's a long answer.
I thought that was a great answer.
There's nothing wrong with a long answer as long as like, did you answer the question?
Yeah, for sure.
When it comes to clients who approach you with a concept that they have to be vulnerable. When it comes to men and women, are your concerns the same, or do you have different concerns for men versus women when it comes to like clients where the shoot may be a little bit more vulnerable and how I may have to handle this?
Yes, I think there's no like generalization on either end. My initial answer was going to be, I think as men we're more open and comfortable, but that's not true in general. I've seen that, but I've also seen men that aren't more comfortable, and I've seen women that aren't more comfortable and open, and I've seen women that are. So I guess that all depends. I think the attention should be, especially when you're dealing with subjects and people that just taking care of people in general. Hospitality and service in that aspect is like just creating safe spaces, creating comfortable spaces. Is there somewhere for you to change? Is there seat? Is it going to be too hot or too cold for you? Is it, have I considered food? Food is, I think, it might be one of the most important pieces of especially long shoots. Because if it's a long shoot and there's no food, people's patience is standing with you. Versus if there's a long shoot and there is food, people can be a little bit more patient with you. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think just going out of your way to consider comfort, and understanding that what might make this specific woman and this specific man comfortable might be different than what I've done in the past.
Would you say comfort and creating comfort is an art?
It is.
I was going to say, I think people that make charcuterie boards would say yes. Yeah, I think so. I think there's I think there's a nuance to it. I think a lot of it goes back to communication. Because you could, I mean, just something as simple as like music, right? You could be thinking you're creating a comfortable situation and you're playing all the hottest hip hop slaps, and this person hates hip hop, right? Now the situation's uncomfortable for them automatically.
Yeah.
Whether everything else is right or not. So I think it's nuanced. I think communicating with the people and understanding their needs, their wants, and like what their comfort is. I think it's important.
So my boy Bird and I were working on a project. I mentioned it before, of like creating vulnerability
for men to just speak their minds on what's going on, right? Creating a safe space. And you told me about visiting women and being a part of their safe space and taking photos in that wellness event that you have done. That was off camera, of course. We know that what men tell us within the safe spaces we create can never be mentioned again unless we're talking directly to them or whoever was a part of that group. When it comes to your work and you've had clients who take shoots with clothing, without clothing, and other stuff like that, is there a limit to what you share with people within your company, outside of your company, when it comes to the clients and what they've shared with you within those shoots?
For sure. I think there has to be. I don't.
And does that count as privacy?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely counts as privacy. I think that an important piece of intimate work is a respect for privacy, i.e. doctors, lawyers, things that you share at your most vulnerable should be hopefully relationships. The things you share in your most vulnerable shouldn't get out if you don't want them out. So for me, like, until a set of images is completely done, unless it's going to an editor, those images don't get shared, solely for the purpose of this person hasn't okayed them yet. And you know, naturally, my aim is to put out photos, whether on website, whether portfolio, Instagram, social media, something bigger than that, whatever the case, right? If you haven't okayed the photos, I don't feel comfortable putting them out. Because if you don't like them, why, you know, if you think you look weird and aren't comfortable with them, and every time you see them, it makes your stomach turn, I don't want them out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that defeats the purpose of what I'm doing.
So your relationship reaches past just the shoot.
Yes. I think that I think I can say for the most part, I've kept, at the very least, respect for everybody that I've shot with. I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that shot with me, unless, you know, unless the shoot went sour for a reason. Like, and this is typically as far as like companies or brands, or a client that didn't feel like they got what they deserved, whether it was negotiated or not.
Yeah. The way you used your hands told me everything I need to know. That told me everything I need to know.
But as far as like intimate shoots, I think everyone has upheld that same level of respect. Like, okay, I have a respect for what he has done. Do you remember? I don't know if you even saw this happening. 2020. For some reason, super randomly, I'm still at a loss for what happened. Somebody was going through everybody I shot with on Instagram. You know how some people have their emails attached to their accounts. They went through most of the people I shot with on Instagram, even my ex at the time, or my still ex, and emailed them a dick pic. Wasn't mine. But it was a similar complexion person.
Hey, yo, I do not. I was not.
Yeah, see that happened?
Nah.
It happened to a lot of people. And they probably hit like 30, 35 people, like went through all of my Instagram. And maybe one person posted that to their story and said something. everyone else first hit me and was like, yo, is this you? Because out of that same respect, like there's an understanding that that's a weird move, that's out of character.
That's the value of trust.
For sure.
And you've built your brand on trust.
For sure.
And like, I'm surprised more terrifying things like that don't happen.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, with the world that we live in and how people move.
It got so crazy I tried to go to Catfish. I mean, is that called Catfish? The MTV show?
Yeah, that is.
I tried to reach out to them to see if they could figure out who the person was, but I couldn't get in contact with them.
Yeah.
'Cause I was confused.
What, Catfish?
Yeah. But Catfish,
That would have been awesome.
That would've
If
been
they would have helped you out. Or at least somebody within their team been like, actually we can, but
Yeah.
let me see what I can do.